Hello, Just Too Good here, back for another video, and today I'm expressing my thoughts on LEGO Minifigures Series 2 of The Simpsons and the LEGO Simpsons 2015 Kwik-E-Mart set. Now, the pictures for these were both revealed today. I'm going to be using pictures from brickset.com and cnet.com, so you can check a link to those in the description. And without further ado, I guess let's start out with the Minifigure Series. So you can see all 16 of them together right here, and I have to say, I am definitely impressed with this series as I was with the last series. You guys know I love the last Simpsons series because I love The Simpsons. I've been a fan since I was a kid, and it's really just one of the best series out there in terms of TV shows, at least the older episodes, because the new ones, I stopped watching a little bit ago, so I'm not too familiar with the newer ones. But, the first, my favorite seasons are like 3 to 10 or so. Season 8 is probably my favorite out of all of them. But really, Season 8, a lot of people point to the downfall of The Simpsons. But regardless of that, it's great to see 16 brand new minifigures in this with some new characters and some different variations on exclusive characters. So the first one in the Brickset database is Marge. And this one is not her Sunday best outfit. And I'm not actually familiar at where this outfit came from. It's a very elegant looking outfit that's in this orange color, which looks like it's used a lot in the series because it's also used for Bart. And honestly, it looks great. I really love how this came out. And I wonder which episode it's from, and if you guys know, you could link in the description or whatever. But it's definitely not her Sunday best outfit. But it's really usable for people who don't even like The Simpsons, which is really what you could say with a lot of these other minifigures. For example, here the dress looks very cool, and you could easily just stick that on, I guess, a minifigure going to church, or a minifigure who's looking all elegant, and it will fit there. And also, her face is actually exclusive because it does have lipstick printing on there, and we haven't gotten a Marge face with lipstick printing. So I like how they have different face prints in this series. She also has a little letter, which is a very elegant looking letter, or a purse or something like that. It might be like a mini purse. And she also has a little bouquet of flowers, which is the one that was included in Series 7 for the bride. So overall, very fancy looking minifigure and a great compliment to the Homer included in this series. Next, we got Hans Moleman, which honestly, Hans Moleman is one of my favorite secondary characters in the show. Sure, he doesn't get too many appearances in the show, or not even any really episodes with a plot based around him, but he is just hilarious. And one of my favorite gags is the one where they're at the film festival. I think the person from The Critic appeared in there, which was another Fox show. And he keeps on getting the football to the groin, which was really funny. It's a really stupid joke by the sound of it, but it's funny in the show. And he does have a little DMV license, which is void, and that's kind of funny because I believe that's a reference to an episode in like around Season 2 or Season 3. Can't really point it to a specific episode name, but I know it's one of those from a very early season. So that's really cool. Next up, we got Dr. Hibbert, which great looking minifigure, very funny character in the show. I like Dr. Nick a little bit better when it comes to the doctors, but Hibbert is still a very funny character. He is always laughing, so it's nice to get that face mold where he's showing his teeth, really kind of grinning right there. And his accessory is very funny too. It's a reference to the show. Basically, when he does the X-ray scan of Homer's head, he has a crayon in it, and I believe they remove the crayon, and Homer becomes really smart. But Homer ultimately decides to put it back in because he's not really happy, so they just put the crayon back in, and then he's dumb again. So that's a nice reference to the show, and his outfit is so good. Oh my gosh, I love the printing on that. It's really rare that we get these doctors' outfits. That's a very nice looking torso. It's very cartoony, very colorful, but you could use it in your Lego City, and it even carries down to his legs, which looks great. Next up is Bart, and this one is Bartman, which you got to do the Bartman. Of course, a character that doesn't appear really too much in the show, but it's still a very nice version of Bart, because this is the only version with that light orange torso that's very present in the show, which is his main torso wear. So I don't know why they only included that in the Simpsons series, Series 2, and not in Series 1 or the Kwik-E-Mart or the Simpsons house, which Bart appears in all 3 of those. So I don't know why they only included that orange one in this set. But other than that, it's a great looking print and coloring, so I'm glad that they included it in here finally. And another awesome thing is that he comes with a new exclusive molded little slingshot right there, which is a very cool molding. And his face print is very cool because he has kind of that Bartman mask all over his face, which looks like he's grinning a little bit with his eyes, which is some pretty cool detailing. And he has a nice short purple cape, which is always nice to get. Next up is Groundskeeper Willie, which of course is a fan favorite character. Honestly, not one of my favorite secondary characters, but he does get a lot of laughs in the series. This one has probably the best molded head out there in the whole Simpsons line, or one of the best at least, because he has so much stuff going on. He has his teeth, his big bushy eyebrows, and his big beard, which looks great. It's very cool molding there. But the rest of the minifigure is still fantastic. Nice that they included the plunger, because I actually missed the plunger from Series 9, I believe, which was the first series that appeared in with the little plumber minifigure. So I'm glad that I could finally get a plunger. And his arms are really cool because they're that multi-molded kind of arms with the short sleeves, which do appear throughout the series a lot. Like, I mean, almost all the characters we already looked like Bart and Marge both had that. But this one has some nice kind of arm printing right on it, which has some hair on it, which is very, very cool. I like how they have that kind of arm hair because we really don't get arm hair too often in LEGO. I don't think we've ever actually gotten arm hair now that I think about it. So that's really nice and a great little minifigure for that. And if you're a fan of The Simpsons like me, it's great to get Willie because Willie's a very essential character in the whole show. So that's great. And of course, comic book guy. We can't go without him. And I'm glad that we're finally getting comic book guy. And he has some great torso and legs where his torso is kind of showing his belly because, you know, he is a kind of a portly man. But his legs are also very cool because they have some nice, it might be layered kind of with the new molding or it might be printed. I'm not entirely sure. But you can see he has his pants, then a little bit of his legs showing, and then his shoes, which is some great little coloring there. Not sure if it's molded, you know, dual molded or printed. And he does have a nice comic, which is Everyman, which I believe is from an episode from like season 20 to 26. I don't know, one of those seasons. A newer episode because I remember seeing it on TV like when it first aired, just like switching through the channels. And they were talking about Everyman, which is, I think, the comic that he made. I'm not entirely sure. He does come with that new squishy mold, which is present in the Kwik-E-Mart set. And also we got Milhouse, which this version of Milhouse is Fallout Boy, which is kind of an alter ego of Milhouse, or it's a character from the comics, which Milhouse likes to cosplay as. So I guess it's not too much of an alter ego, but more of a character from the comics. And this is Milhouse as Fallout Boy. And Milhouse has that Buzz Cola, which is actually exclusive to the set because we do get Buzz Colas in the Kwik-E-Mart set, but none of them are printed on the piece that's the little coffee cup from this LEGO movie line. And that's really cool because it does look like a kind of a raised kind of top right there, and it's very cool to get an exclusive little accessory there. And the rest of the minifigure looks fantastic. I wish they did more of these superhero variations, maybe having Homer as Pie Guy or even as Radioactive Man or something, but they just chose to put Homer in the Sunday Best, which we'll get to him later. But nevertheless, this guy still looks awesome. Then we got Edna Krabappel, which Edna is a hilarious character in the show. Sad to see that she's being retired, but, you know, her voice actor did unfortunately pass away recently. But this one is a fantastic minifigure with a great molded head, some great kind of torso there. I really love the torso especially. It's kind of like a female jacket. And also you have a little pink cup, which is kind of interesting to have two accessories. And a very odd accessory, which is Gordie Howe, I think it is pronounced, his picture, which is a reference to one of my favorite episodes of all time, Bart the Lover, right? Yeah, that's it. Bart the Lover, which is from season 2 or 3. I'm not entirely sure. But it's a fantastic episode. Not only does it have a good message, but it's a hilarious episode. And I know at the end of the credits, they actually showed the picture of Gordie Howe, and they showed his little hockey, because I think he's a hockey player, and they showed his hockey stats all over the picture, which I always thought was hilarious. So I'm really glad to see that picture there because it's relevant to the episode of the show where basically Bart, I believe, poses as Gordie Howe, or he poses as somebody using Gordie Howe's picture. And Edna kind of falls for it and thinks that that person's in love with her, which is, it's kind of a somber episode, but it has some great laughs and a great message to it. Then we got Homer, which is in his Sunday Best. Honestly, not too thrilled with this because the Sunday Best outfit was never one of my favorites for Homer, but still, it's very nice to get a torso, and I know somebody's pointed out somewhere, but it makes for a great Phoenix Wright torso. But it's unfortunate that he doesn't have his button printing on the side of his arms, which it doesn't look like he has that. He may have it, but it might be just a positioning, but I don't think he has the button printing. But he does have a very cute little accessory, which is just a Valentine's kind of box of chocolates, which is a great compliment to Marge, who's dressed up in kind of a fancy, elegant outfit with a little bouquet of flowers. So it looks like Marge and Homer are showing some love to one another, which is a cute little thing in this series. Then you got Smithers, which Smithers is one of my favorite characters of the show. Definitely one of the best secondary characters, always providing laughs. And he is I think the world's biggest Malibu Stacy collector out there. He has like the biggest collection, which was from an episode called like Lisa versus Malibu Stacy or something like that. And that's a great episode. But he actually comes with a Malibu Stacy little accessory there, which is so cool because Malibu Stacy is kind of based off of Barbie, and Mattel makes Barbie, which Mattel is LEGO's competitor. So it's really funny to have Malibu Stacy as a little accessory, or at least a box for Malibu Stacy. And the rest of the minifigure looks great because this head mold's awesome, and he also has a great little torso print, which is accurate to show and just really usable on some other scenarios. Excuse me. Now, Maggie, on the other hand, not too proud of this variation of Maggie because there is no variation. This is the same one that came in the house set. Now, if you get past that, the best part about her is she comes with Santa's Little Helper. The only way you could get Santa's Little Helper. So that's why people are going to buy this. And honestly, the fact that she comes with Santa's Little Helper, one of the most important characters to the show, or one of the most, I guess, featured characters to the show, because, Santa's Little Helper was introduced in the first episode, and that was like the main plot of the first episode. And it's nice to get Santa's Little Helper, and that's why people are going to buy this. That's why I'm going to get a few of these, just to get a few Santa's Little Helper, because the molding looks awesome there. He looks adorable like he is in the show, and while I wish Maggie would have had an exclusive kind of variation, it's still nice to get Santa's Little Helper. Then Lisa right here. Lisa is cool because she not only comes with a new molding for Snowball, which is, the Simpsons cat, but she also comes with an exclusive variation. I wish they would have done this with Maggie, but Lisa has a nice kind of church outfit, which has an exclusive little facial printing with the bow, a great little torso, which is adorable, and then she has some nice little short legs in pink, which we haven't gotten before. So she's definitely a very, very well done minifigure. Great variation. Professor Fink, he has a nice little flask with it looks like a little bit of some green kind of printing in there, lime green, which I'm not sure if we got in lime green for that flask piece before. And he has a great big long head piece, which looks very accurate to the show, and his lab coat is very well done. And Professor Frink is hilarious in the show, and it's nice to actually get him here. It's Frink, right? I never pronounce that right. I always say Fink or Frink, but it's whatever. Then Martin, of course, is not one of the most important characters of the show, so it's kind of odd hearing the list at first and why they included him. But honestly, this minifigure does not fail to impress, because while he's definitely a character I'd probably switch out for another character, they didn't really fail to impress me here, because it looks like he might even have a new book molding. Now, we have gotten that book molding, or a book molding very similar to that one before, but it looks like this one could be held by the minifigure arms right there, because it might be longer, and it's definitely taller, unless they messed up on this picture, because usually the book molding would be from the bottom of his legs to his torso, but this one is the bottom of his legs to his mouth, so maybe it is a new molding that's longer and taller. I hope it is, because the current book molding I don't really like, because you can't get minifigures to really hold it too well, and it's just big, and it gets kind of bends when you open it, so that would be very interesting if they chose to make a new molding altogether. Then you do get Selma and Patty, which these aren't my favorite characters in the show. They never really made me laugh too much, but I did like a fish named Selma, so I guess that's good. But I wish Selma would have came with Jub, her pet iguana, but they gave her this nice little accessory, which is an eye chart, which actually comes out really cool, and I wish they would have maybe switched that to Patty, because Patty's accessory is really kind of bland. All she has is this little purse, which is her purse from the show, but that's really it. It's not really too interesting. So I wish they would have gave Patty the eye chart, then give Selma Jub, which would have made a lot more sense. Nevertheless, both of them have some great torso printing, which could be used for some senior citizens, it looks like. So that's it for the minifigures, and I just have to say my favorite out of this whole series, I don't really have a favorite. All of them impressed me, really, in one way or another. Like, Maggie would probably be my least favorite, but that's just because Maggie doesn't have any new printing. But then again, Santa's Little Helper comes with her, so I can't say it's a bad minifigure overall. So anyways, let's go on to Kwik-E-Mart, which we'll take a brief look here, because honestly, I'm going to be getting this set very soon, because, it comes out, I think, a month from now with early kind of release with the VIPs. But the Kwik-E-Mart set is a fantastic $200 set. I love the inclusion of Snake. That is such a big step for LEGO, because they never include really exclusive moldings for D2C sets, direct-to-consumer sets, sets only available at LEGO stores and online various retail sites. So it's a step up to actually have an exclusive molding in this set, even though, it's just Snake's head. And what they usually do is they include moldings that appear throughout the year. Like this one, for example, includes a little squishy cup before it comes out in the Simpsons series. But including Snake is great because, you get these exclusive characters, and that means if they make more of these, they can include more obscure characters, even though Snake isn't too obscure, and he looks fantastic there. Otherwise, the rest of the set looks awesome. Basically what you'd expect. It's like the Simpsons style, the Simpsons house style of set, except for the Kwik-E-Mart. And there's so much cool references to the show. You get all the soup, like I think it's Chef Lonely Heart's soup, which is an awesome little reference. You get a little magazine, the Inquisitor, with Mayor Quimby on it. You get some squishy stuff. You get an Angry Dad comic, which I was actually surprised to include that, even though that's more of a newer episode. I kind of like the episode that was first introduced in. You get some Buzz Cola printing, which is interesting because this one's different from the one in the Simpsons series, because it's just a cylinder piece with Buzz Cola printing, and then the top is just a 1x1 little circular tile with the top of a bottle on it. So that's really cool that they actually included that in the set to make the one from the Simpsons series exclusive. They even have all these little signs, like the ones for the hot dogs, and even the one for the Easy Money little ATM machine, which is a little bit more of an obscure reference. So overall, loving this, and I love that they actually include the Police Chief Wiggum's car, which is awesome. Glad they included that. And it's nice to have an exclusive Police Chief Wiggum and an exclusive Apu minifigure, which both are the only exclusive minifigures in the set besides Snake, because they also include Homer, Bart, and Marge, but they're the same ones from the Series 1 of the LEGO collectible minifigures. So that's good for people who miss out on that series and are just getting into LEGO. They can pick this setup and use the minifigures from there in their Simpsons setup. So that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys later. Express your thoughts and comments. Bye.